Things won't get better later on, so stop hoping that they will. Because once you solve today's problem, tomorrow will generate another problem for you to solve. So why bother, right? Wrong. And here's why. Because that is where life is lived. Identifying and solving problems. Here's what I mean. There will always be another hurdle to get over. There will always be another mountain to climb. Whether it's raising kids, building a business, or creating a lasting relationship with your partner, whatever your current journey is, it is going to be filled with problems to solve. Problems are like steps toward your future, and your future will never become your present. So you better get used to having problems. Plus, the journey we're on is only interesting because of the problems it creates. We know that because it seems to be the only thing people want to talk about. Problems can be as simple as, what do you want to have for dinner? Or what do you want to do this weekend? Or more severe, like, how are we going to pay for our car repair? Or how are we ever going to get out of debt? It's problem, then solution. Problem, then solution. Rinse and repeat every day. Do you really understand that life is a journey? And that there is no future destination where all your problems will magically just go away? So it's gonna be how you approach them that really matters, right? Do rich people have problems? Yes. Do poor people have problems? Of course, yes. And so does everyone in between. As you may or may not know, we bought these cabins in order to take some type of control over our future. That we weren't going to just sit back and hope our 9-to-5 jobs made us enough money that we could stop doing them one day and hope to never run out of money. My dad did that, but I didn't do that. I'm 59. I don't have any money. So I needed to do something else. I wanted to enjoy working and not stress over having to save half of whatever I made in order to be able to not starve to death after I was not able to work anymore. That makes both of those existence, before retirement and after retirement, miserable. So about 5 years ago, I bought a cabin in the woods. Place that I was gonna live. And I had to pay cash for it. So I spent all of my cash, all of my savings, everything, to buy a cabin in the woods. There's a video on that. And even though the idea was questionable at the time, whether that was a good idea, to go broke, but you at least owned a cabin in the woods that all I had to do is pay the taxes on. The monthly bills were about $200 without a mortgage. And I just had to pay taxes, which were less than $1,000 a year. So controlling my future was not having big overhead, not having a mortgage. And why can't I find that hole? And so that was just that was a way to take some control over my future. And once I did that, it was weird. because it opened up something inside me where I changed my perspective on what I was doing, what I wanted, what I could do. And I cannot see. And I ended up meeting this girl. And she was doing the same thing I was doing. She had left her corporate job for 20 years. And she was actually unemployed when I met her, and she was just very honest, saying, I'm just not gonna do that anymore. That was going, that's not gonna fit. Her corporate job was killing her. She made a lot of money, but it was making her miserable because she didn't have a life. She had a job, and her job apparently was her life. So she made a decision to walk away from her job. And her goal was to get outside, to get people outside. She wanted to escape the cubicle, so to speak, the office, so badly. She felt bad for anybody who was still doing that. So she was like, my new focus is going to be helping people get out of the office and get into nature, even if it was just for a weekend. That was her story. And when we met, I had just bought my cabin in Texas. And it was like, hey, I just bought a cabin in Texas, and that's kind of cool, right? I think you can freaking fit. Maybe. Yes, they do. And she said, that's great. So we were literally on the same path. I wanted to have control of my future, so I bought a cabin and I went broke doing it. She wanted to control her future, so she quit her job and drove her camper van to Montana and explored the country. And she came back and says, yeah, I'm doing that. She was in her mid-40s and was like, I'm done with that corporate crap. The money ain't worth it, because you're trading money for time, or all of your time in a lot of cases. And then it didn't take very long for her to jump right in. It took like 3 dates before she showed up. She didn't show up. I took her to the cabin, and we spent the weekend building a deck, fixing it up, cleaning up. She got her hands dirty right away, and she was like, I love this. This is what she wanted. Not my cabin, nature, getting outside. Yikes. Stuck on there. She wanted to get outside and help people get outside. So she was like, we're on the same path. I was like, hey, okay. Well, since you're unemployed and I'm a handyman, I make money, but not enough, right? We started looking and we found these cabins in Arkansas. And it was just for fun at the beginning, like, oh, wouldn't that be cool? And then it was, well, why don't we just do it? And she said, she was on board. And she had a little bit of money saved, enough for a down payment. And so we bought it. And this is not going on smoothly. Something's messed up in the threads. Or here. That one was just fine. Let's see if this one fits better over here. And then a few months after we bought these three, we made a deal with the owner and bought another one, and she owner financed it for us. So now we have 5. This is not a how-to, remember? Because this is not how you do this. I'm spinning the socket inside there now. And I'm just trying to get that thing back off. And the whole freaking thing is spinning. Trying to keep it from spinning, just to get it off. Freaking thing is spinning around. Now we're going to do it differently. I'm taking it off so I can put it in my lap and figure this out before I break something. She wants to fall.
So anyway, I guess the long and the short of the story is I'm 59 years old. And in the last 5 years, I bought a cabin in the woods. I met the girl of my dreams. I've raised two incredible boys who are now 20 and 23, both in college. One's going to be a fireman. And she and I bought these 5 rentals, 4 cabins, 5 rentals in Arkansas, and it's beautiful up here. We're turning her house that she owned, she's paid it off, which is pretty incredible, into a long-term rental, and she's going to move in with me. That's easier to do now that the boys have moved out. Come on over here. Let's get into this. In case you didn't know, these things screw onto these things and hold the globe in place. This one is now stuck. And it's spinning this part. I don't want it to do that. I just want it to work. Mm-mm. Did it? No. 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 That's not it. We'll buy another one of these. Change my plans for the day. Force it. It's weird. Pliers. So this, see how it's all floppy now. Alright, so it'll tighten up. Not putting that one back on there. That's supposed to just screw on nicely. here. It doesn't. It sticks right there. Why? Right there. Right there. Why? That, or is it this? I think it's this. What do I have? I have a file. It's not metal. It is porcelain or ceramic. I don't think I'm doing anything. I don't think I did shit. Maybe there's something here I can do. So, all you guys that might be watching this thinking that I suck at electrical, but I don't suck at taking control of my life, because I did that. I made a lot of changes. I made a lot of priority changes. I swapped out things. I stopped looking for eye candy or clickbait when I was trying to date. They were all the same. Every clickbait that I would click on was the same exact girl, just with a different face. And once I realized that, I actually realized that it was me, not them. I just kept choosing the wrong girl, thinking I was making a better choice. But I wasn't. I was making the same choice over and over. Then I said, I'm gonna go for a girl that's nice and cute and fun and capable, low maintenance, no medications. Change some things in my selection process, or what I wanted for my future. I might have made this worse. And then I met this great girl. And it was because I changed what was important to me. God, this thing sucks. Freaking stuck again. Not really. I don't know. It works there. It works there. grinds up so fast. And it's not these. I don't know. This 5-minute job is going to take an hour. So I'm going to start filing on this. Maybe make it a little looser so it actually gets through the grooves. So making changes, no matter how old you are, it's never too late. It's a good idea. If you're not getting results with what you're doing, change what you're doing. If your job isn't going to pay off for you, change your job. If your girl's not paying off for you, change your girl. If your attitude's not changing off for you or working out for you, change your attitude. Make decisions for your future, not for the now. What's going to work out best? For me in a relationship, what works out best is a best friend. A girl that can be your best friend. We all knew them. We probably had them in high school, but we never dated them. For one reason or another. They were boring. They weren't flashy. They weren't who everybody was talking about in the hallway. They were the nice girl. The one you ignored. When you get older, that's perfect. And the ones that are flashy, those are a pain in the ass. And if you're anything like me, we're sick of that crap. I want a girl with no makeup, with a good attitude, who's thoughtful. She's not competing with me head to head. We team up as partners. She's not trying to win arguments. She's trying to learn and let me learn. She's understanding. So, did I say thoughtful? Thoughtful. I'm actually filming this for B-roll, just the background stuff of what we do when we come to do maintenance. And this is one of our maintenance trips. We come up 4 times a year to do maintenance. We do a lot of all of our repairs. We do a lot of the deep cleaning ourselves. And this was just going to be some background stuff. But now, hell, this might be a whole video all on its own. Even though I do know what I'm doing, I know how to do this stuff. I do it. And sometimes it is like this. If you've ever done it, you know what I'm talking about. I can drive an hour to Lowe's and an hour back to go get another one. Or I can F with this for a while and then drive an hour to Lowe's and an hour back to get another one. You saw it. You saw it. It happened. A little bit more. Whatever I did. I might make it worse. But I'm giving myself 5 more minutes. And we're gonna go at this again. But I think I'm gonna put it on first. That's why I get the big bucks. we have a wiener. You heard that. I'm gonna do this side. It's not a how-to, remember, it's just what I'm doing. I'm gonna do this side so it balances when it's up there, otherwise it's gonna be lopsided, the weight. Okay.
You get mad because you get frustrated. You get frustrated because of a problem, but that problem is just a part of living another day. Once you accept that life will continue to give you problems to solve, you will get good at solving them. So when you expect to have problems, the problems stop being problems. They just become part of life. Part of what makes each day interesting. Part of what makes each day worth living. You can actually learn to love solving your problems. And doing what you love is just living your life. As simple as that. Isn't it lovely? I hope everybody cares.
You sit on your porch. That's the Buffalo National Forest. Well, we have a couple acres, but that way is the Buffalo National Forest. We go back into the National Forest land. Here's your little steps down to your table and your fire pit. Sorry, it's been raining for a day or two. And that is a water slide. Old, obviously, and there's a pool. You can see part of it right there too. It goes down there a little bit further and there's a big drop-off pool. And it goes up the hill. It winds around. This part has been tore out. And it starts underneath that cabin. That cabin was built on the launch part. And where you see that canoe, that was the original building. And that was just a bathhouse where people would go and change and put their swimsuits on. This is like back in the 70s. And so these little cabins were built around this thing. And it's just been sitting here. It's kind of cool. So you get to sit in your rocking chair, look out over the National Forest. You can turn your little lights on at night. And you have this old, historic kind of water slide right beside you. It's cool.
Into the exit stairs. Big roots. It's kind of cool. Goes way up there. Lots of trees, lots of woods.